Hey there. Before we jump into today's episode, we want to thank you for tuning into Unapologetically First Gen. This is the podcast where two sisters share what it's like to grow up as first-generation immigrants, everything from the hilarious moments to the heartfelt ones. Each week, we'll bring you personal stories, honest conversations, and amazing guest interviews that celebrate the first-gen experience. So if you love laughing, learning, and feeling connected, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with your friends. It really helps us grow. If you want to contribute to episode topics and get exclusive content, join our Patreon linked in the show notes.
Hello, I'm Stacy, the younger sister. I'm a former teacher turned copywriter, cat mom, and slightly obsessed with romantasy books.
And I'm Lesley, the older one, operations expert, home baker, mom to 2 kids, and a bunny. Welcome to another episode of Unapologetically First Gen. We are going to be talking about superstitions today. So to kick things off, let's talk about the big Portuguese symbol. If you have ever visited Portugal or had a friend bring you back a little knick-knack, you probably got a Rooster of Barcelos. It is a decorated rooster, and there is a story behind it that explains the symbolism of good luck, justice, fairness.
Okay, so I actually didn't know this story. I just Googled it before we started hitting record, which is kind of wild because when you walk into like any Portuguese gift shop or like souvenir shop, like you're gonna see these roosters everywhere. In fact, if you walk into any Portuguese person's kitchen, there's a high likelihood that you're going to see one of these roosters. It's a cultural icon. So the legend is that this dude in the town of Barcelos falsely accused of stealing, and so he was sentenced to death by hanging. And even when he was sentenced to death, he maintained that he was innocent, and he was so certain that he was innocent, he told everybody that when he was hanged, that the rooster would crow. And so when they started the execution process, the rooster started crowing, and the judge, so impressed by his truthfulness, released the pilgrim because he was like, wow, he must really be innocent. And so the legend of the Galo de Barcelos became this like popular tale, and the rooster is this symbol of justice and good fortune. And so that is really where it originated from, and now it's become this big tourist souvenir, and it's basically like this Portuguese like folk story.
Yeah, and it's this big symbol of good luck. I always grew up thinking if you have one in your kitchen, then you will always have food to eat.
Oh, that's really nice.
So everywhere I've lived, I've always had one in my kitchen.
I feel like I need one in my kitchen now.
How do you not have one?
I don't know. I'm never buy one because I'm like, whatever, like I don't need one.
I might have multiple. If I have multiple, I'm going to gift you one because how do you have to have one?
It's because I'm not like a big like knick-knack person or like souvenir person.
I'm not either, and which is what makes this kind of funny because I'm not a knick-knack. I like to throw knick-knacks away, and I'm also not like a superstitious person. I'm a little stitious.
You're a little stitious.
I couldn't help it. I had to. But like for some reason, this one just hits different.
I'm wondering, all of the Portuguese people listening, do you have a Galo de Barcelos in your house? And if you are not Portuguese and from a different culture, what is like the one thing that everybody has in their home that is symbolic of your culture? Let us know.
So, Stacy, let's talk about other superstitions that we've grown up with.
I think the biggest superstition is that you get sick from being in the cold. And no matter how much I tell people it is actually science and germs that make you sick, nobody believes me.
This belief is ruining my life.
Still, as an adult.
Well, so the thing is, I have small children, And sometimes it's easier to take your child and just run them to the car or from the car to the house than it is to bundle them up in layers as you're fighting them to get in or out of a car seat. And
especially because you have to take the jacket off when you're in the car seat. So it's like really annoying to like get their jacket on for literally 10 feet.
Yeah. So the way I combated it this year was I got them wearable blankets basically, and I just throw that on top of them. But, it was like 55 degrees this morning, and I was just like, I just scooped them up and like put them in the car. It's like, I'm not putting jackets on, you guys. But then when I got to mom and dad's house, I did put the jackets on to get them from the car to their house, because I was like, they're going to
be like, this is why your kid is always sniffly.
Yes, nothing to do with the fact that preschool is a thing.
It's funny too, because I remember always being super bundled up, and now as an adult, I prefer to be bundled up and comfortable than cold. But as a kid, I feel like you run hot because you're moving around a lot and you don't want your jacket. But when I was in Santa Maria, there was somebody who, they got a tooth removed or something. They had a dental procedure. And then they're like, well, I just got to like get inside so I don't catch a cold. And it's like, you're not going to catch a cold from the temperature. You're going to catch a cold because like your immune system is weakened because you got a dental procedure, and that's why you need to rest. Not because the temperature is making you more vulnerable to colds.
I don't think that my kids appreciate being bundled up. So I set up a rule. If you don't want to put on your coat, you have to carry your coat. And
that's a good rule.
The incentive for putting on your jacket, and that's how I can tell whether or not they're actually cold or hot, is because they don't like carrying things. So if they're really hot and they don't want to put on their jacket, then they just have to carry their jacket. But I would say it really forces them to check in and ask themselves, like, do I really want to put on my jacket?
And, as you're saying this, I have this sort of recent memory in the past few years where we were on this family hike. We were like with my in-laws and everything, and we're hiking up this mountain, and I took my sweatshirt off, and Dad was like, hey, do you want me to hold that for you? And Mom was like, no, she's going to need it again. She's cold. I had just taken my sweatshirt off. And I'm like, no, it's fine. But it's just so funny. And the thing is, it's not even their perception of cold is literally like a small breeze. And they're like, oh, it's chilly today.
There was a day, it was like one of the first warm days in spring. And I had my son in a short sleeve shirt and pants, no jacket, short. It was literally 70 degrees outside and sunny.
That's cold.
And I get there, and first thing that Dad says, he's like, oh, this kid doesn't have a long sleeve shirt on. He doesn't have a jacket. He's going to be so cold. And I was like, it is literally 70 degrees outside. And he was like, yeah, but it's chillier inside the house. And I was like, then take him outside.
It's funny too, because it's like I see where this belief comes from, right? Because more people are sick in the winter because people are inside, and so you're touching germs and people are not washing hands, versus the summer, people are spending more time outside, right? They're not getting in contact with all the germs, so the flu goes down, everything goes down. And so like it's one of those correlation versus causation things where, oh, it's cold and people are sick, so the cold must make you sick. It makes sense that people believe that, because it's not like they were learning biology in school. I think now people understand that, especially after COVID. That was such a big, traumatic worldwide event that microbes and viruses and bacteria can be bad. But I see like why they have this belief.
It's just really frustrating when you're like, no, I don't need a jacket right now. I'm so hot. I wasn't wearing a jacket today, so I better not get sick in the next like 2 to 3 weeks, or they're going to blame it on me not wearing a jacket today.
It is chilly today. I will say, like, I wasn't necessarily like in hoodie weather, but like I wanted my long sleeves.
Yeah, I did feel like it was chilly. I forgot my jacket because I was just trying to get everything and everybody out of the house and into the car, and there were things that we needed to bring to show Grandma and Grandpa. My kids will have things where they'll be like, I need to show this to Grandpa. It's really sweet.
That's really cute.
Yeah, I was like, Grandpa's never seen this. I think Grandpa wants to play with this. There's
Oh,
things that they want to bring to show him.
that's adorable.
It is really cute, but it also means I have like a bajillion things to carry out of the house every time we go there.
Other superstitions,
Can't
beliefs.
go outside with your hair wet. You are going to get sick if you go outside with your hair wet.
That's even worse than not having a jacket, I think.
I think so too. And the thing is, the worst that's going to happen if you go outside with your hair wet is your hair is going to freeze, and that's really bad for your hair.
Yeah, it's also uncomfortable. It just is weird because your hair cracks.
Yeah, it actually will make you feel colder. But I don't think you're going to get sick from it.
We always had to take baths and showers at night, and I think it's because of this idea of you can't be outside with wet hair. You had to be clean to go to bed. And I don't know if that's a routine that our parents just like instilled in us. Now I definitely shower in the morning, like half the time.
I was a shower in the morning person, but I'm now a shower at night person because it just works better with our schedules. My husband will be around at night so I can take a shower. And can I shower when I'm home alone with the kids? Yes. However, I get a lot of interruptions. Like someone needs to show me something every time I go in the shower. This is such a throwback. Remember when you had a pajama themed party and we all had to like, wear pajamas?
It was the pajama taco party. We had awards.
Right. And Mark and I won for wearing for being bananas in pajamas. And we won a taco cat.
Yes.
Well, Taco Cat's still around. And every once in a while, like one time I was showering and my daughter kept being like, Mom, 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 Mom. And I'm like, what? And she like comes over with the Taco Cat and she's like, are you hungry? And then just cackles. Like it's the funniest thing. And I was like, oh, no thanks. I don't need a shower taco. And then she goes, shower taco. And just like cackles as she walks out of the bathroom. Like she just told the funniest joke. And it's an adorable story, but also those are my regular showers if I am the only parent. So I've become a shower at night person, which also means I'm a go to bed with your hair wet person, which you're also not supposed to do.
So I'm trying to figure out with all of the rules around going outside and having to shower at night, but not so close to bedtime that your hair is wet. When is the perfect time?
3 p.m.
Oh, okay.
It really, I have very thick hair, so it takes my hair hours to dry. And if I were to blow dry my hair every time I wash it, my arms would be like, I would have Michelle Obama arms. They would be so strong. Can't do that. They get so tired, so I just go to bed with my hair wet.
You're going to get sick.
I'm not sick yet, so we'll just have to leave it at that. Do you want to talk about wearing shoes in the house?
Yeah, sure. So this is another thing that will get you sick. I didn't realize that all of these superstitions, except for the next one that we're going to talk about, really involve being sick and this fear of being sick. So that's kind of an interesting theme that I'm figuring out as we're talking. So the other one that we want to talk about is wearing shoes in the house. And I am curious, who are the shoe wearers and non-shoe wearers? Because if you are walking barefoot in my parents' house, you will be offered slippers or you will be told to put your shoes back on. You don't want to get sick, and wearing no shoes will make you sick because the floor is cold.
Right, which made sense when you had a dirt floor.
Right, your feet can't be cold, and it's funny because it's like...
You're so disgusted listening to this because it also means that everyone's wearing outdoor shoes inside. And I know that's a big thing for most people.
Yeah, and I know that in certain cultures, you take your shoes off at somebody's door. I have a few people that I pet sit for, and they are like, hey, remove your shoes when you come in. Even though they're not there, I always take my shoes off because I don't want to like track in a bunch of stuff from the outside to these strangers' homes. At home, I have house shoes, but I don't wear them all of the time. I do like being barefoot. Honestly, when I'm not barefoot, it's because my floors are getting gross and I just don't feel like sweeping, so I put the shoes on. I know. I struggle. I'm like a struggling adult.
Oh, so here's the thing. I like being barefoot when I'm really hot, but if it's chilly, then I need socks and my slippers on.
I do like socks.
But now I have a lot of, again, this is another issue with having small children. There's stuff on the floor all the time. And my feet, I have like weird sensory things with my feet. I can't step on like a phone charger cord.
Ugh.
Yeah, I can't.
I felt that viscerally.
Barefoot? Oh, even if I have like soft sole shoes on and I step on one, don't like that feeling. But if I'm barefoot, no thank you. No,
That's
thank you.
so funny.
It weirds me out in the same way that like if your sock is a little bit wet, how that bothers people. I mean that also.
Okay, but do you have extra slippers for visitors?
No, just keep your shoes on.
That is where
I also regularly sweep because my kids are always on the floor. So we regularly like sweep and Swiffer. And we have robot vacuum thing.
I too have a robot vacuum, but I think for me it's easier to sweep than to clean out the vacuum. I don't know why that task feels harder for me, but it does.
Yeah, I have to just set the vacuum off when no one's home because otherwise it gets like stopped. Things get piled on top of it. Someone tries to stand on it. I feel like this entire podcast is people reaffirming their child-free beliefs. My side of the podcast is people being like, okay, never having kids based on this woman's stories. My youngest likes to drop cereal on the ground and then stomp on it because it makes like a crunchy sound. I cannot tell you how much I hate the feeling of stepping on those crumbs, those crunchy crumbs.
Ugh, they're not even that easy to pick up either. Like, you need to vacuum them up to get them all.
We have a little hand vacuum that I make them clean up those types of messes. Even the 1.5-year-old, I give him the little vacuum. He's really bad at it and not good aim at all, but he's learning. But he also really they both really like to vacuum. So sometimes I'm like, am I just making them make messes by giving them the vacuum?
Whatever. If they clean up their mess, I feel like they can make whatever mess they want.
True. It just, gets out of hand.
It does. Okay, so we have one other superstition and belief that we want to talk about. And it is the needle thing, which I'm like, how do I describe this besides calling it the needle thing?
I'll give it a go.
Okay.
Here's what you have to do. You have to put thread through a needle, not a lot, and then you hang the needle down, maybe 6 to 8 inches, and then the person you're doing it to will show you their palm, and you hold the needle up, and it's gonna swing over the person's palm, and then depending on the direction it swings and how many times it swings, that will tell you how many children and which sex they will be. So I was supposed to have 3 boys.
Do you know how to tell what are the results?
I used to, but I don't know that I know it now. I know who to ask.
We'll have to brush up on our knowledge when we go back to the Azores. The last time we were there all together, so 8 years ago now, we did the needle test. We were all hanging out at our aunt's house, the whole family, me, Lesley, our husbands, which they weren't our husbands yet, but me and my husband both did the needle thing. One of our cousins did it to us, and it was just Tom's gonna have 3 kids and they're gonna be boys, and I'm gonna have 1 kid, and it was just our kids are totally different, and I'm just uh-oh. So far neither of us have any kids, but we'll have to see if the needle was telling the truth.
My husband and I got the same results. So our relationship's clearly going to outlast yours.
Were the results that you were going to have a girl and a boy?
No, they were that we were going to have 3 boys. So,
you never know.
You never know. Maybe, one, we're probably not going to have a 3rd kid. He's had a vasectomy. So that 3rd kid ship has sailed. But maybe we'll end up with 2 boys. Maybe our daughter will be trans.
Who knows, too? Maybe that vasectomy didn't work all the way and you have a secret 3rd child coming up.
I would be so upset. Maybe we'll end up having to adopt a third. Maybe it'll be like a dog. Like that will be like
a third child. Maybe that's what it is. You're right. Maybe it's pets. Maybe my 2 kids are the 2 cats we already have, and then Tom's additional kid is like the dog we're gonna get.
Right. And the dog will like Tom the way the cats like you.
So if you don't know, I have 2 cats, and when we adopted the second kitten, Tom was like, this is my chance to be the cat's person, but I'm the one who's home all day. So both cats love me, and both cats compete over who gets to sleep directly on top of me. And Tom will just be sitting by with no cats.
It's like when you travel, the cats are like, I guess, just Tom's good enough.
The younger cat hangs out with other people. She'll hang out with Tom even if I'm around. The older cat is very much like, fine, you're my backup person. I guess I'll hang out with you. I haven't seen Mom in 5 days.
Right. Poor cat. That poor baby.
I know, they're so funny.
You'll have to post some pictures of your cats on the Patreon.
Oh, yes, I've got a lot of them. Yes, I think that's all of the superstitions. Are there any other ones that are kind of sticking out to you?
No, I think the big ones that have ruled my life have been the ones about getting sick, and then of course like the rooster. I always have a rooster, and now my feet are really weirded out because I always have shoes on. My kids, I have to say, exact opposite. No shoes on ever. They like hate wearing shoes.
Except at Grandma and Grandpa's house, so they don't get sick.
They do have to wear shoes at Grandma and Grandpa's house, so they don't get sick. And they'll say it, too. Like, my daughter will be like, I have to put on my jacket so I don't get sick. And I'm like, no, that's not how science works.
I think one of my favorite things that she has said is, she thinks that ants come from the house being dirty. And so she'll tell her grandma, our mom, that if there are ants, she'll be like, it's because your house is dirty, Grandma. And I think that's like so funny because our mom's house is like the cleanest house you could ever walk into.
Right. It's so crazy. And she'll tell me randomly, she'll say, oh, Grandma needs to clean her house because she has ants. And I'm like, Grandma has ants because her place is in a basement. Like, yeah. But whatever. And she saw an ant here the other day, which we were planting, so I think it just hitched a ride because it was one random ant in the living room, and she goes, oh no, our house is dirty. And I was like, girl, you're not wrong, but it's not because there's an ant in here. Like, our house is dirty because you and your brother trekked in here with your rain boots on.
That's so funny. If you are listening and you have your own superstitions and beliefs from your culture, then share with us on the Patreon or shoot us DMs on our social media. And if you are also listening and you love the show, make sure to rate and review us so that we can grow and get in front of more people. We would really appreciate it. And thank you so much for listening. Until next time. If this episode resonated with you or you have your own first gen stories to share, we'd love to hear from you. Connect with us on Stacy Braga Copy or Streamline with Lesley on both Threads and Instagram, linked in the show notes. And don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share the podcast with someone who'd love it. Until next time, keep embracing your roots and making your own path.